The year is 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony, until one day a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the penultimate deadline stream. Only one more after this, of course, which will be game week 38. There's big decisions to be made this week. I am pretty sure I'm not rolling, and I'm going to buy Palmer for a hit or Watkins and captain, whichever one I bring in. I'm not sure where to go with it. I really don't know where I'm going to go with it. I think Watkins is probably the better captain, and I think Spurs are likely to rotate more than Man United based on what the two managers have said. But Palmer is a massive differential, and I'm still tempted to do it. And I know I'm going to want Saka in game week 38. And so if I go Palmer now, it gives me such an easy route just to forget about my transfers next week and just leave it. I could just not take a hit for Palmer and get Watkins and take a hit for Saka next week. But it's going to feel a little bit, I don't know, it's going to feel a bit weird doing the -4 in 38. Isak's meals on Sunday got leaked. He's having Saliba on toast 3 times. Seems pretty unlikely, but you never know. Am I going to miss FPL? Not massively. I think the break is kind of nice, to be honest. If you had triple captain, would you put it on Watkins? Watkins, Palmer, Salah, Saka. I still quite like Saka next week, but Watkins this week's pretty decent, to be honest with you. Nothing wrong with him whatsoever. Depends how different you want to go. I'm going to be saying this a lot during the stream. I think a lot of people are going Watkins as like a differential or to chase, but everybody is buying Watkins. And I may well do the same by the end of the stream as well. It's just so easy to go from Isak to Watkins. I think that's going to be a super popular. Mateta to Watkins and Isak to Watkins has to be the most popular moves this week, I would assume. Let me just change the music a second. Not that you can hear it, but it's for me, basically. Oh, my sound is so low. There we go. I saw something about Vardy then, but Oh yeah, is Vardy just an emotional move? I mean, he's a cheap forward. Like, what do you expect for 5.3 million? Him or Betto, really? Take your pick. If anything, I actually think Betto's probably the better pick now. I've kind of tempered my expectations with Vardy a little bit. Not that I was expecting the world anyway, but these are the things that I can see. He scores, top comes off, yellow card, and he's almost certainly going to get subbed during the game at some point, right, for a standing ovation. I don't see him just playing the whole 90 minutes. Now, that could just be the 85th minute, right? But I've kind of gone a little bit colder on Vardy. But I don't mind him as a one-week punt. The other annoying thing, though, is he's not going to be in the squad for 38. And you just never know if you're going to need your bench in any game week, right? So Betto seems a little bit safer, but I still don't think there's too much. Watkins only at 23%, not too bad. Honestly, at this stage of the season, forget about overall ownership. Watkins will be, in my opinion, Watkins will be over 100% effective ownership in like the top 100k. He's far from a differential. Yeah, he's 23% overall, 23.7. But go and look at the captaincy poll I posted like half an hour ago. Watkins captain is 47.5%. Now, there's only 4,000 votes because it's not been up that long. But he's nearly 50% of everyone that's voted is captaining him. And then if you look at the transfers in this week, he's over 500k. Not many other players are above 100k. Like he's above 600k now. Like he's not a differential. He's going to be over 100% effective ownership, I think. Effective ownership is ownership plus the percentage of managers that captain them. So if a player is over 100% ownership and you own them, technically you need them to blank. But honestly, if you can try and forget about that and just play FPL, that will probably make your life more fun, to be honest. I think that the day I learned about effective ownership, I kind of wish I hadn't, to be honest, in some ways. Saliba, Colwill, Milenkovic. Okay. Rodgers worth a captaincy. I don't like Rodgers captain, to be honest. I prefer in Burmo, Salah, Palmer, Saka, Watkins to Rodgers. I think Rodgers is fine, but captaincy, I'm not convinced. Yeah, Vardy captain I would have no real interest in, to be honest. I'm okay with him as a cheap option to give you money elsewhere, but not much more than that. Do we think Marmoush starts regardless of the cup final result? I think Man City's team will mostly be regardless of the FA Cup result. Does that mean Marmoush is in the team or not? Who knows, right? Because it's a Man City attacker. My guess would be that he'll start the FA Cup final, and there's a good chance he starts in 37, but honestly, no idea. Would you bench Isak for Vissa? Probably, yeah. 70 and 50 points in front, both my mini leagues, so trying to crack into top 100k just outside of it. Nice, good luck. Mini leagues are done. You're not going to get caught for that. Bench Cunha, Visser or Rodgers. Probably Cunha, honestly. I think the minutes for the other two are probably better at this point. It would be peak FPL for Spurs to heavily rotate and then drop a 1-0 win on Villa. Yeah, I just don't see it happening. I think Villa will comfortably win, to be honest with you. Basically, Ange Postecoglou said something like... I can't remember exactly what he said. I could probably go and find the quote, but he said they can't risk any more injuries. And so he's probably going to rotate. Whereas Amrim kind of said, unless players are at risk of injury, it's not good to go 8 or 9 days without a game. So it sounds like Man United are probably going to rotate less than Spurs. That's what I think Watkins is probably the better captain. I kind of already thought that anyway. I still think that. It's just not a differential captain. That's all. And that's fine, by the way. You don't need differentials all over the place. Like, if Watkins absolutely smashes it, goes and gets a brace or a hat-trick, it ain't going to matter if he's over 100% ownership if you've captained him. That's going to be good for your team. Bench Ain't Nuri or Saliba. Ain't Nuri is away to... Oh, it's away to Palace, isn't it? But obviously, that's 3 days after the thing. Saliba. I'd play Saliba, I think. Do you think swapping Salah for Palmer is worth it? I'm not super convinced by it, but I mean, Liverpool are on the beach. Like, Slot himself got asked the question in his press conference today about something about whether the players are as hungry or if the... I can't remember exactly what the wording was. I'm getting old. But Slot was like, no, they're not. Basically, no, they're not going to be the same team as they were if the title was still on the line, which is to be expected, right? That doesn't mean Liverpool players are bad, by the way. It just means they're not as good as they could be. So, anyway, I probably wouldn't do Salah to Palmer. I think I'm a long way of saying that. Have to start Milenkovic. Would you do Sarr to Bowen if it meant benching Isak or Cunha or Roll? I'd probably just bench Sarr for that particular one and Roll. Savio out for a -4. Madueke, Neto to bench Sarr chasing. I'd go Madueke, I think. I mean, Neto might play up front. I just like the fact that Madueke always shoots. Sell Bruno for Eze, Rodgers for a -4. I think there's no way I'd buy Eze, by the way. Bruno to Rodgers is fine. I don't know if I'd do it for a -4, though. I think there's a chance that Bruno just plays, to be honest. 30 points off top 1k. Planning to transfer in Palmer and captain. Give me a percentage chance you think I would get there. Like, if I'm being honest, I don't think you can get there. So, like, less than 5%. Like, 30 points is huge to make up in 2 weeks. You basically need Palmer to go and get a hat-trick and all other captains to blank. And, like, even then, it's still not completely done. Yeah, again, it's not about whether Salah does or doesn't drink. Like, there's a whole other 10 players that have to play with him, right? And again, I think people treat stuff in FPL too much of this mean, like, when I say Liverpool are on the beach, some people take that as, well, they're going to be awful now. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there will be some drop-off. How much of that drop-off you think will apply to Salah? Obviously, you can decide yourselves. It might not mean anything to you, but it's not going to be... The Liverpool team and the intensity and how they play against Brighton away is not going to be the same as if Arsenal and Liverpool were still fighting for the title. It just can't be, can it? It doesn't mean Salah's now a terrible pick or anything like that. I'm sure he'll play 90 minutes again. Nico Williams or Tino Livramento. I think that's Nico Williams, pretty clear, to be honest. I don't think there's too much to think about. Thinking of free hit this week instead of next week, would you go Diaz or Palmer over Salah? Cunha over Betto? I'd go Betto over Cunha, and I'd probably go Palmer over... Palmer. What defenders would you pick as differentials? I'd probably double up on Everton or something like that. Maybe even triple up. Maybe go for like a Matty Cash against Spurs. If we get team news like Maatsen start, so I wouldn't mind that. Cucurella against Man United, but probably double or triple Everton, honestly. Just start from there. Do you think it's worth keeping Trossard for 38? Probably. Yeah, probably. It sounds like he could be back, but there's no guarantee though. Unsubscribe, thank you very much. End of season bonus, thanks we do. Oh, I thought you were about to like, here's an end of season bonus, like, and you were going to say something about FPL. But thank you very much. Who to bench? De Bruyne and Burmo, but oh my god, you got a good team. I think Visser. Oh no, sorry. I think Chris Wood. I think it's got to be Wood or Visser, and I think Visser's at home, so that would probably just about swing it for me. I mean, Wood's on penalties. You could go that way. Yeah, I think you've got to keep De Bruyne and just hope he starts. Yeah, Isak to Watkins for -4, Palmer captain. I don't think I'd take a -4 for it, no. Do you predict that Maatsen starts? No, I don't know who's going to start there, to be honest. Like, presumably it'll be Luca Dean. But I think Maatsen, let me just double check here. I think he's played a bit more recently, but I could be talking absolute nonsense. Yeah, he actually started 3 games in a row. I completely missed that. 31, 32, 33. I don't know if Luca Dean was injured, but he also started in 35, but not 30. Oh, not the second game in 33. And not 36. So I presume, I would assume it's going to be a Luca Dean start, but was he suspended or something? Seems odd just to miss 3 games. Or was it around Champions League? That might be why. Could be around Champions League. I don't think he was injured. Yeah, he was just on the bench. Yeah, I would assume Luca Dean, could be Maatsen. Can you create a bench boost team for this game week? I mean, there's no point in doing that, right? Because you can't wildcard and bench boost. Triple captain option 2. Watkins, Palmer this week, Salah, Saka next week probably. Or if you want to go different, you could go Bournemouth next week. Take your pick. Can we get a captaincy poll? We can. Guru, thank you very much. Yes. Now, here's a question. Who should be on the captaincy poll? I'm guessing in Burmo, Salah, Watkins, and then the 4th one should be someone else. Does Andy approve the Delap to Man United move? I mean, it's hard to not approve a forward when Højlund's pretty much all you've got. I know there's Xerxes as well. I don't know how good he is, in all honesty. Like I've only really seen him for 1 season in Ipswich. I don't know how good he is, so I don't mind it if the money's right. And then let's just see. Man United need more options, that's for sure. 1 free transfer, Savio to Bowen or Saka. I think Saka, for me. I'm not putting Betto in the Palmer. Come on. Rodgers, Betto. You're having a laugh. So Watkins, I think Salah in Burmo, and then someone else. I put Palmer on Twitter just to see how popular Palmer was, really. Oh, hang on. Your Gameweek 37 captain. I mean, I can put Palmer instead of Salah, I guess. Just do it the same as I did on Twitter. Saka's not going to be a popular enough captain to put in the poll. Haaland and Eze to Watkins and Palmer. But surely you've only just bought Haaland, right? I got to be honest, that sounds pretty good to me. It sounds pretty good. Who would you play? Who would you bench to play Watkins? Salah, Rodgers in Burmo, Saka, Bowen, Cunha probably. Bring in Vardy or Watkins captain. Watkins. Punt on Neto, Madueke or roll and play Sarr. I mean, that really depends on, like, so if you use that transfer, what's it going to stop you from doing next week? Like, I think I would probably rather play Sarr and pick up a Bournemouth midfielder next week than go for a Chelsea one this week. Probably. If you have 4 free transfers and you free hit, how many will you have next week? 4. The Freisler for 24 months. They wrote 2 years. Nice. Marmoush for Watkins, De Bruyne for Palmer, and Vardy to Kivior for a -8. No. That doesn't make much sense to me, I don't think. I mean, can you not just do Marmoush to Watkins? That would just do, no? If you're so confident on Watkins, why not Rodgers or Asensio as midfielders are better captains? That makes no sense. If I'm so confident that Watkins is great, why wouldn't you captain a different player? That doesn't make any sense. Sell Gabriel injured to Kivior to bench Howson against City. I mean, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine, I guess. I think there's probably... I mean, Howson's good next week, right? Which is why you want to keep him. I think I'd rather just spend the money, the transfers on attackers, probably. You don't have enough for Watkins. But Palmer's more expensive than De Bruyne. So you don't need to make that move to get funds. Eze and Marmoush to Palmer captain and Betto for a -4 feels good and spicy. Yeah, don't mind that. Do you think we'll get leaks possibly? Saw your hype for one more Vardy party. Transferred out Watkins for a hit. No, you didn't. I mean, I know I've bigged up Vardy. I haven't said you should sell Watkins for a hit. That's crazy. Do we captain too? I would not be captaining Vardy. And I've never said I would captain Vardy either. Buy Watkins or roll and go in 38 with bench boost and 4 free transfers. Only you can decide that. Do you need 4 free transfers next week? I mean, honestly, you probably don't. I'd rather just use one on Watkins. Yeah, Vardy for Kivior for some money, fair enough. But you don't need to do the De Bruyne to Palmer move, right? You could just do that. Instead of getting Palmer this week, you could just get Saka next week. Yeah, Howson is going to Real Madrid, but I think he's going to play the last 2 games for Bournemouth. Luka Dean versus Saliba versus Nico Williams. I would go Saliba, then Luka Dean, then Nico Williams probably. And Bowen versus Saab. I mean, that's Bowen like pretty easily. Don't say that now. I've triple captain Vardy. I think that's madness, but I hope it works out. The thing is, I kind of only want Vardy to get 1 goal. Because I think hitting 200 is better. Like, if he gets a brace, I mean, that's obviously great on the day, but 201 goals? I mean, more is better, of course, but finishing his 500th game on 200 goals, that's the way it should be. Marmoush to Watkins or Betto this week. I mean, again, okay, let me read the rest. Getting Betto allows Sarr to Saka next week. Would bench Betto next week. I mean, here's the thing, right? All I can say is be realistic with yourself about how much you want Saka next week. Because if you go Watkins, are you just going to be annoyed all week that you can't get to Saka? If not, then just get Watkins. I think he's great this week. Better than Betto. But if you know deep down you're going to want Saka or you're going to want to leave that route open, just get Betto. Like, Watkins is better this week, no doubt. Like, it's part of the reason I want to go Palmer over Watkins, because I know I'm going to want Saka next week. Mateta to Betto or Vardy for free, or roll and bench Mateta and play Rodgers in I just play Rodgers. Rodgers is really good this week. Marmoush to Vardy to enable De Bruyne to Saka next week. Don't hate it. Just remember Vardy is not going to play in 38. Play 2, Cunha or Eze, and Saliba or Milenkovic. Saliba and Cunha probably, I think, is where I would go. I think for the most part, if you've got like a close call and one's a Palace player, I'm going to say to bench the Palace player most of the time. Would I transfer Haaland out for Watkins? I'd be tempted to just double down and captain Haaland, I guess. But I think it's an okay move, yeah. Sarr to Bowen or roll to get a Bournemouth Arsenal midfielder in 38. I think I'd probably rather have... Do you know what, actually? I think Bowen can stand up to a Bournemouth midfielder next week. And he's better than Sarr this week, so I'd be tempted just to get him. What's the reasoning behind Vardy playing the last game? I guess he just doesn't need to, right? Leicester are relegated. He's leaving the club. Why not go out on a high? Instead of going out on your 501st game away to Bournemouth, why not go out on the 500th game at home in front of your fans, you know? Like, he doesn't need to play one more game for them. What does it matter? Maybe he's just got plans next week. Maybe he's just got plans. He wants to go on holiday or something. Chasing a 19-point mini-league deficit. Mateta Sarr to Betto Cole. Yeah, like it. Like it. By the way, I'm not saying that everyone has to go and buy Cole Palmer. Far from it. But he is the more differential player over Watkins if you're really chasing. How strange is Premier League on Friday night? Not that strange. This has been happening for quite a while, right? So holding on to De Bruyne after they have the Palace game is worth it. I think it's probably worth not taking a -4. Is Trossard fit? We have to wait and see, basically. It sounds like he could be fit. Yes. And Marino's out, so there's a good chance that Trossard will play 9. Is playing Dan Burn crazy this week? My alternative is Anderson or Robinson. Anderson is... Why can't I think... Oh, Joachim Anderson, is it? So Fulham are away to Wolves, right? Oh, Brentford, sorry. Brentford. I was picturing Visser and I said Wolves. And Robinson... Oh, they're obviously both there. Is playing that? I don't think playing Dan Burns crazy, but I would probably rather play the Fulham player. I think it feels very strange to me. Like what? Vardy not playing? Like I don't think it's that strange. I genuinely, I actually thought this about a week or so ago that maybe that could happen. I don't know why the thought sprung to mind that he might just not play in 38 or be on the bench. Who is the bigger minutes risk, Marmoush or Mateta? I think I'd probably have to say Marmoush, right? Because Mateta is first choice. We know that. But who knows, right? Crystal Palace win the FA Cup final, and I'm telling you, Mateta's probably the bigger minutes risk. Am I going to watch the Man United game later? Yes. I'm probably not going to be able to watch the FA Cup final, though. I'm a bit gutted about that. Is Watkins on penalties? That we don't know. And the reason we don't know is because Asensio was ahead of him, because Unai Emery told us, but Asensio missed like 1 or 2 penalties, didn't he? And Tielemans is not there, Rashford's not there. So if Asensio's not taking the next one, it could be Watkins. It could be Watkins. Already have Watkins this week, swapped De Bruyne for Saka. Next week I'll get an Evan Nielsen for Marmoush at home to Leicester. Very nice. Evan Nielsen's going to be super popular next week, which is a bit annoying because he's quite a differential right now. But it's very hard to get differentials when they're playing Leicester at home. Yeah, Watkins is not the greatest penalty taker, but you'd still rather him taking penalties than not. Chaz, thank you very much. Hope you're enjoying a beer. Need help. Mateta, Isak, Strand, Larson. Want to bring in Watkins, but nothing in the bank. Bowen, Sarr, Salah in Bournemouth, Saka in midfield. Any options? No good ones, I don't think. No. Isak to Watkins. But selling Isak before Strand, Larson and Mateta doesn't make much sense. You could just go without Watkins. Like you could do Salah down to Palmer, then Mateta to Watkins could work if you want to sell Salah, but I presume most people don't want to do that. To be clear, the -4 for Vardy or to Kivia or Marmoush to Watkins is better than the added -7. Yeah, I don't particularly think De Bruyne to Palmer from -4 is worth it, basically, yes. Especially if you're getting Watkins because you can just captain him. -12 locked in, I've done it. It worked last week. I'm trading 20 points on my milli. Well, right now you're trading 32, unless they take hits as well. Assistant manager active on Potter. Nice, good luck. That's a table bonus game, right? Yeah, it is. Should I keep Marmoush or should I swap it? If you can get to Watkins, I think that's a pretty good move. Watching from Corfu, nice. Hope you're enjoying this. I mean, to be fair, I don't even need to be in Corfu. It's super sunny outside. I went for a walk about an hour ago now, just around the block, and not a cloud in sight. I was at the gym earlier, and it was horrible. It was that hot. So I hope you're enjoying Corfu, but like I've basically got Corfu weather in Galway right now. Haven't got Watkins, Palmer, or Bowen. Okay. Get one of them in now or have 2 free transfers next week with bench boost. Honestly, with these questions, I can't give you the answer, right? Because I don't know what your bench looks like next week. How many transfers do you need to make that bench boost better? Are the transfers for your bench boost more impactful than getting in Watkins or Palmer for captaincy this week? So I can't really tell you what to do. I mean, my gut feeling is you spend a transfer on Watkins or Palmer rather than worry about your bench boost next week. But without seeing the bench, it's really difficult to know. Areola or Raya this week? Raya, I think. Raya, yeah. I think it's fine if you want to go the other way, but I'd probably play Raya. If you have triple captain left, who is the best to play? It's either Watkins Palmer this week or Saka Salah next week for me. I still quite like Saka next week. There probably is some small doubts about Saka next week. If they beat Newcastle this week, do they need to go and play Saka against Southampton away? Not necessarily. I think he probably will start either way. But I guess it's not as... I wouldn't be as sure as I usually would be. So if you want to be sure, you can just captain someone this week. But my preference is probably Saka next week. But Watkins and Palmer this week are good too. Start Munoz, Ruben Dias, or Sarr. Oh, probably Sarr. 1k rank, Eze and Sarr to Mbermo and Sharda for -4. Don't hate it. I mean, again, I've been saying this all week. All I can say is there is some risk with Palace players. That's it. If Eze and Sarr don't start, the -4 looks genius. If they do start, it could backfire. And I can't really help any more than that. Would I do it? Probably. Saka hasn't been good. I think he was very good against PSG. Sorry. Very good against Real Madrid. Less so against PSG, but I guess that was the same for all Arsenal players. But Saka still could have done really well against PSG. Plan moves are on screen. Bottom right. Salah and Marmoush to Haaland and Rodgers for a hit. Probably not, in all honesty. I think if you were going to get Haaland in, it was probably last week was the time to do it, even though obviously you end up blanking. Would you play Cunha or Elanga? Probably Cunha. I need to bench one player. Who do I bench from Eze, Bowen, or is that Eze? Can Emery, assistant manager, cover Watkins? If I get Watkins this week, I can't get Emery this week or Saka next week. I wouldn't worry about cover. Like, what's best for your team? If what's best for your team is buying Emery, then just don't get Watkins. Again, I feel like I say this every week. Watkins is an extremely good pick this week. And for a lot of people, it makes sense buying him. But I think we're at the stage now where people feel like if they haven't got Watkins, it's an absolute disaster. And I don't think that's the case. He's a really good option. He could go and score a hat-trick tonight. Absolutely, of course. He might just walk away with 1 goal and 9 points. And it's probably not going to kill your season if you don't own him. Like he's just... I don't know. I don't even know where... I mean, lots of people were eyeing up Watkins already. I guess Palace just doing really well against Spurs helped. And obviously Rashford not being there has also helped Watkins. It's absolutely crazy, like the hype from this week. Well, I've had him on like 3 or 4 thumbnails, so I guess I can't say much. And I might buy him. I'm putting it out there. I might buy Watkins. And if I do, I'll captain him. Yes, Watkins' effective ownership will be over 100%. Yeah, definitely. Would I captain Haaland? I would definitely consider it. Huge differential. It's just a bit annoying that it's after the FA Cup final. Yeah, Spurs won't play a proper team. I completely get it. Yeah. To be honest, I think the actual... Well, there's a few reasons why Watkins is so popular. 1, Rashford's not there. 2, Spurs are going to rotate. 3, Palace did really well against Spurs literally last week. 4, I think Did Watkins score last week? I think he did, right? So that also helped. If he'd blanked, his transfers in would not be as high. But I think the key reason is because people have got Mateta. He's super popular, and they don't want Mateta. So if you can afford Mateta to Watkins, it's almost like a no-brainer, right? Marmoush as well, same thing. If you've got Marmoush, moving to Watkins just makes a lot of sense. So I think that's another reason he's so popular, is because everyone's just got a very easy move to him. And even Isak to Watkins in some ways is a pretty good move. Bench one from De Bruyne, Cunha, Visser, Rodgers, Bowen, Cunha. Play Ray or Henderson. I mean, Henderson will probably start either way, I would assume, but probably Raya. 18 points off 1k. Watkins captain. Thoughts on Isak to Betto -4? I probably wouldn't do that. I'm one of the idiots that, you're not an idiot, that brought in Haaland for Isak last game week. Downgraded Marmoush to Betto to afford him. Would it be another idiot move to captain Betto? 10 points from top place in my league. I think Beto's good this week. I'm not sure about captaincy, but I wouldn't say it's an idiot move. 1 free transfer. Haaland to Watkins captain. Saar to Palmer -4 or roll. I mean, I'd probably roll and captain Haaland if you feel like you can go through with it, but obviously there is some risk there. Otherwise, I'd probably go Watkins and not take the -4. Best attacking Arsenal player for next week besides Saka. I think it's probably Martinelli, because I think if Marino comes back in, Trossard doesn't necessarily start. I think Palmer captain is the way to go this week. Got a feeling he will do well. I've got a feeling Man United are going to put out a much better team than people are expecting, based on what Amorim said. I don't think it'll be full strength, but I don't think it'll be far off. Although Man United at full strength is not necessarily all that amazing. So generally my feelings would be if you've got 3 Villa players already, I would not take a hit to get Watkins in. I wouldn't remove one for a hit. Start Mateta or Saar. Probably Saar. I think Mateta's more likely to get rotated. Yeah, exactly. I've kind of said that a few times. Man United might power a full strength team, but they're also unfortunately, well, they're not sat in 17th, to be fair. They're sat in 16th, but yeah. Isak, great, but overall Watkins fixtures are better. Yes, United should be easy, but feel Isak at home against Everton can give good returns. So confused. Excuse me. Yes, I would agree that Watkins is better than Isak for the final 2 weeks. And he also presents a really good captaincy opportunity this week. So if getting Watkins this week doesn't stop you doing what you want to do next week, great. Like, for example, right, I was listening to Praz's video earlier. He's going to do Mateta to Watkins. Super obvious move. And he also has the money next week to do De Bruyne to Saka. Like, it's a no-brainer. He doesn't even have to think about it. So it's super easy. But it's not necessarily that easy for everyone else. Like, if I do Isak to Watkins, I don't have the money to get Saka next week. And I've got to play a Crystal Palace player this week. Whereas I think a lot of people doing the Isak to Watkins, Mateta to Watkins, etc., they're probably not playing a huge amount of Palace players. Or they're able to bench them. Like, because I've got double midfield, it's a little bit different for me. A lot of people have got Saar and Mateta. So Mateta to Watkins and then bench Saar is pretty easy. So that's why I'm leaning more towards Palmer. I just don't know. I don't really want to captain him against United. Okay, were 20 months, Griffith, thank you. Were for -4 to go Salah or Rodgers to Palmer or Martinelli? Probably not. Already done Marmoush to Watkins, probably captain Saka still. Yeah, I'd probably not then, especially if it's not for captaincy. Even if it was for captain, well, if it's for captain, you could maybe justify it. But the fact you've already got Watkins, I would just captain him. Visser or Wood to Watkins, Wood just about, and Konza to a different defender -4, no chance. Oh. So you need to do the Konza. Oh, no, probably not. I don't think I would take a -4. I think Konza's okay this week. First in a mini league by 36 points. Is it worth it? I mean, if you want a block, then sure. Sure, but 36 points, you're probably going to win anyway. Sachin, 31 months, thank you. Bench one of the following front 8. Salah, Bowen, De Bruyne, and Belmo, Rodgers, Watkins, Visser, Isak. Ooh, that's actually difficult. I'm going to say Isak, just because of the fixture. Although I had Isak right at the top of my benching headaches, but I don't think any of those other players mentioned were in that list. So I'm going to say Isak just about. I'm torn between 3 options. Isak to Watkins and De Bruyne to one of Bowen, Rodgers or Saka for a hit. No, I wouldn't take the hit. Mateta to Watkins and De Bruyne to Rodgers or Bowen for a hit. To be honest, I quite like the second hit. If the De Bruyne to Rodgers or Bowen is to fund the Mateta to Watkins, I quite like that. But obviously it's De Bruyne's final home game. There's a narrative there. So one or three, not two. Probably three, and just hope that De Bruyne doesn't start that game, but he probably will. Is a hit worth it to get in Palmer and Watkins? Depends who you're selling. Who would you bench for Watkins? Salah, Saka, Mbeumo, Rogers, Bowen, Vissa or Cunha? Cunha. -4 to get Vista and Watkins for Isak and Mateta. Again, it probably goes down as a don't hate it. But if you could do Mateta to Vissa and not take a -4 and be happy captaining someone else, that's something to think about. But if you want to captain Watkins, then sure. Salah to Rogers -4 would have to play Sarr otherwise. I probably wouldn't take a -4 for that. Captain Saka or Mbeumo. I quite like Saka captain out of the two. But I think mostly because I see them as quite similar this week and Saka's got lower ownership. Chris, 34 months, thank you. What's your plan for watching the final on Wednesday? Oh my God. So I'll be watching at my house. Anton, by the way, thank you. I'm definitely going to be watching at my house. There is a chance. I don't know if I can watch from the start. I might have something unbelievably. You can't believe. It's just nothing's going well for me for watching football over the next kind of week. I might not be able to watch the start of the game, but I'm going to do everything I can to make sure I can, basically. But I will be watching it at home. There is potentially something more important I need to do, which I know sounds crazy. But that is life. Thoughts on Neto as a punt? Did well there earlier this season. Should be OOP with Jackson suspended. I like Neto. I also quite like Madueke. I just feel like Neto will pass and Madueke will shoot. I have my triple captainship. Who would you use it on? Again, Watkins, Palmer this week. Salah, Saka next week. I like Saka next week. Probably Saka or Watkins. Best options. Definitely wouldn't miss the start of a Champions League fight. I would if it was for the same reason as I might have to miss the start of this one. And my mum and dad are also coming to visit me, and they're also flying in on Wednesday, and I've got to go and pick them up. But luckily, their flight is way above before the game. But that's not even the reason I might miss the start. We'll see. You're going to miss the most exciting European fight. I know it's probably going to be rubbish, but obviously I still want to watch. Anyway, Vissa or Wood and Mbeumo. Vissa or Wood and Mbeumo to Watkins and Rogers or Sharda for a hit. 4 points top of my min league. Leader likely goes for Watkins. I got to be honest, I don't really like that hit. But if you're going to do it, Wood, yeah. Isak or Marmoush to Watkins. Marmoush. Play one, Munoz, Kivior, Konza. I'd probably risk Munoz in that case. Head says Watkins, but heart says Vardy. I feel like I've built up the Vardy stuff. I need to temper it a little bit. Vardy's fine, but I don't think he's captain material, personally. I think he's a good enabling differential, and that's about it. If you had Haaland, would you still captain Watkins over him? I think Watkins is probably better, yes. But Haaland is a massive differential, so it depends what your priorities are. Need to go different, captain Haaland or Bowen. I mean, if you want to go different, both are going to be different for captaincy, but probably Haaland. As said before, I'm chasing everything my worst year. I mean, just bear in mind that Haaland captain could just make it be worse, but record the game, then watch it from the start. I hate watching games that are not live. I just can't do it. Now, if for example, I was 10 minutes late, so I could watch it from 10 minutes onwards, then maybe I will record it just in case. So maybe I would do that because then I could fast forward half time. But if I was like half an hour late, there's no way I'm going to just wait. I need to watch it at the same time everyone else is watching it. Please turn your mic up. I'm at work listening through my earphones and they are pretty much on full volume. I'm not sure how much more I can turn up. I feel like I'm really bad with audio. I don't know. What mic is this? It's a Shure mic. I don't know if I don't think I've even got any software on here. Is it called Motive? What's it? Oh, I've spelled that wrong. Oh yeah, Motive Mix. Hang on. Oh my God. Go away. Stop shouting. You sound absolutely fine. Your volume is fine. Volume good for me. Not listening on headphones. It's perfect loud. He's waffling. Nice. Okay, everyone's saying the mic is fine. The problem is if I mess it for this, it messes up for... It kind of messes up for my videos because it's kind of set pretty well for that. Okay, I'm going to leave it. Sorry. You have to do some work instead. Please turn your volume down. I'm not meant to be listening. Fair enough. Okay. I'm leaving it as it is. I'm leaving it as it is. Which AM table bonus do you prefer? Potter against Forest or Hurtsler against Liverpool? Oh, well, Potter's at home, by the way, to Forest, not away. I'm going to say Potter. But I don't mind Hurtsler just because, obviously, Liverpool kind of on the beach. OP Talent, thank you. Eze to Palmer, captain, or Eze to Saka, captain in Burma for 2 weeks, 38 free transfer Bournemouth, or Palmer to Saka, 38, but no Bournemouth. Yeah, I've kind of gone round and round on this. I think I just about prefer Palmer to Saka because of captaincy reasons. But if for example, you're not that keen on captaining Palmer, like if you don't see it as that big of an issue like captaining someone else, then I would go the Mbermo route. I think having Saka in Bournemouth 38 could be quite nice. So it depends how much you value Palmer captaincy. If I do it, I'm probably going to go Palmer for captain, then Saka. But I'm really trying to push the differential, I think. And again, reserve the right to go Watkins instead, which may well happen. Also start Sarr, Marmoush, or Ruben Dias 4-4-2. I would start Marmoush out of those three. Yeah, Marmoush. Sorry, everyone's saying you should get better headphones. Do you know what? Maybe you're one of those people that only has one AirPod in, and you need to put two. You need to put two AirPods in. If you know, you know. Buying the forward in 37 and the midfielder in 38. Marmoush and Sarr to Watkins and Martinelli -4. Vardy and Saka -4, or Watkins. So buying the forward then. Okay. Watkins and Semenyo. No hit. That sounds pretty nice to me. Guru, thank you. On bench boost, chasing 14 points in mini league. On bench boost, chasing 4. Leader will probably go Watkins. Is it worth a -4? KDV, I'm assuming that's De Bruyne. And Mateta for Palmer, captain, and Watkins. Oh, I quite like that, yeah. That's 18 points. Still doable, just about. Milenkovic and Sells, or Areola and Kilman. Probably the two West Ham, because they're at home. I'm not going to read that one out, but thank you very much about the headphones. Play Sarr or João Pedro. I don't know if João Pedro definitely comes straight back in. Presumably he will. I'm going to say Sarr. City defender Vardy and Ruben, or one City and Williams. Double City, I think I would go. Let's talk sound, yeah. By the way, last week when you were all telling me you only listened to one with one AirPod, I don't know if I said this on Sunday, but I went into town. First person I saw wearing AirPods, and they had both in. Obviously, I can't read it out. It's not very nice, is it? Tell that guy to clean his headphones. There you go. That's half it, kind of half done. What are the clean sheet odds from Rob T FPL? Make sure you're following Rob if you're not already. Mostly because he's helped me get 17 points from Martinez the last 2 weeks. The top projected clean sheet is, I think, Everton. He's just done final updates. Yeah, Everton 46%. After that, there's not really a huge amount of great options. So Chelsea and Villa are 36%. City 32%. Then Palace and Arsenal 29%. Everyone else is lower. Also, I should say, sorry, just to keep on with the AirPods thing, I actually did use just one AirPod the other day. Because I to be honest, I didn't know you could just leave one. Like, I once you take one out, it kind of turns off. I didn't realize if you just put it back in the case, it lets you listen to one. So I actually used it the other day because I was on the couch and my wife was there, but I wanted to listen to a voice note that I'd been left. So I only had one in. So it is handy, but most of the time, I'm like a normal person. I just have two. Start Flecken or Martinez. Bench one of Eze, Sarr, Mateta. Captain Saka, Clive at Haaland. Suggestions on free hit and which players to look at. Double or triple Everton, Palmer, Watkins, Rodgers. Maybe a Villa defender as well. Probably still Salah. Visser I still like. You don't have to put it back in the case. Yeah, but obviously if you don't do that, what are you going to do with it? It's handy just to put it back in the case, right? Please answer. I've got $500 in this league. Yeah, you didn't put a question though, so I don't know. Will Haaland play 90? I think there's a good chance, but a lot of it will depend on what happens in the FA Cup final, right? Start Raya or Henderson. Raya. Do you reckon Villa will get Champions League? Yes. Because I think they'll beat Spurs and United, basically. Do I just get Palmer if I already have 3 Villa players? Probably. By the way, I think I know the title of this stream is like Watkins or Palmer captain. There is another option, and that is to captain neither of them. You know, if you can't get Watkins because you've got 3 Villa, it doesn't mean you have to go and buy Palmer. You could just captain in Burma or Salah instead. Why is Cunha being such an avoid? Well, I wouldn't buy him, right? Like, why would you buy him right now? He just got sub before 60. There's got to be some risk there. Is Munoz a doubt? Might do an Everton defender for a -4. Well, he's a doubt as much as every other Crystal Palace player. They've got an FA Cup final 3 days before, right? So, yes, there is some risk there, but I wouldn't -4 him out. JD, thank you. I'm going Watkins. Yeah, basically you and everyone else. Everyone's on Watkins captain this week. Bowen or Rodgers to start? Ooh, probably Bowen, but it's really close this week because Rodgers gets to play Spurs, which is quite nice. Is Bowen captain crazy? I wouldn't say crazy. Adam, 2 months, thank you. Have Martinelli. Is that Martinez? Martinelli? Rodgers, okay, Rodgers, Rashford. Thinking -4, Mateta, Watkins. If you can do Mateta and Rashford to Watkins and Bowen, I love that. Will we get Villa team news? Possibly. What's your thoughts on Marmoush? I think he's a pretty good footballer. I have Watkins and Isak. Tempted to take a -4 for Marmoush. Who should I replace him with? I probably wouldn't take a -4, but I guess Visser maybe. Someone like that. I mistyped before. Mateta to Betto or Vardy for free, or roll and bench Mateta and play Sarr in a 3-5-2. Okay. Unless that money from Mateta to Betto or Vardy enables a really good move next week that you're sure about, I would just play Sarr, I think. And just decide what to do next week. Any suggestions on free hit and who's tight? Yeah, I kind of already answered that one. Do I take the -4 for Cunha for Visser or no? No, I wouldn't take a -4 for Cunha. Who to get rid of him or to bring him in? Who to bench? Areola, Raya, Nico. You're just giving me your whole team. Come on, who are you thinking of benching? You're not like this. You've got like in Burma and Salah. You're not thinking of benching them, are you? I would bench Sarr probably out of those. One free transfer planning to go Mateta. Okay. Sarr to Martinelli sounds okay-ish, yeah. So that in Burma to Saka in 38. I'd almost be tempted to roll and decide next week, but it's okay if you want to do that. Have you ever heard of Zug Zwang in chess? Every move I do puts me in a worse position. I haven't, but that sounds like how I play chess, to be honest with you. Who would you take a -4 for this week? Captain. Otherwise, probably not much else. If we're going to transfer Palmer in, who's going out in your team? Eze and Sarr, probably. So here's the thing. If I take a hit to get Palmer for Eze, it's either Sarr to Enzo Fernandez and bench Evan Nilsson, or Munoz to Mikalenko to get an Everton defender, and obviously remove some risk from Munoz. I think Munoz will probably start, but there is some risk there. So do I... Basically, let's just say I'm taking a hit for Palmer. Let's not talk about whether it's a good move or not. I know you hate it. Is it better to have Munoz and Enzo Fernandez or Mikalenko and Evan Nilsson? Because that's what it will come down to. And Mikalenko's got a rubbish fixture in 38, but I can just bench him. In 38, I'm going to play Saliba, Vardy and Livramento. So it doesn't really matter too much. And Munoz has got a rubbish fixture in 38 anyway. So yeah, Mikalenko and Evan Nilsson, or Munoz and Enzo Fernandez. I quite like Munoz and Enzo Fernandez, but if Munoz doesn't start, it kind of sucks a bit. Are you going to do Isak to Watkins or Eze and Sarr to Palmer and Enzo? Probably the latter, but yeah, probably the latter. One to bench between Marmoush, Visser, Rodgers, Bowen, Marmoush. I think that's pretty clear. Is there any concerns that Arsenal rest Saka in 38 if they win against Newcastle? I mean, there's nothing to rest him for, but I do think it would put his guaranteed starter status at some risk, yeah. And if I go the Palmer route and then Saka gets benched, that is a bit of a disaster. Because I could go Watkins this week and then just move Eze or Sarr to whoever next week, like Cliver or Semenyo. I don't know, honestly. If I really think if I didn't have Eze and Sarr, let's just say I had one and I could just bench them this week, I'm pretty sure I'd go Isak to Watkins and just ignore Palmer. And this is what's going to annoy me, I think, with hindsight. I'm not sure if I'm over worrying about Crystal Palace player minutes or not. Because if Eze starts, he's great this week. Mateta Savinio to Watkins Enzo -4, but I have no budget for an Arsenal midfielder or even a Bournemouth one. I guess yet another hit in 38. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I guess for captaincy, it's not a bad -4, right? Why so much hype for Villa? I mean, why Watkins is so much more popular than in Burmo? Tottenham are not that rubbish. They're pretty rubbish, and they're going to rotate, and Villa will have to go full strength, obviously, because they're chasing Champions League. I think Crystal Palace put up like 3 XG away to Spurs last week. Like, Spurs are pretty rubbish. Same as Man United. They are just that rubbish. Up 50 in mini league. -4 Watkins Betto from Mateta Marmoush. Why not? You've got that mini league absolutely done. Who would you bench? Eze, De Bruyne, Isak, Wood, Visser, Rodgers. Probably Eze. Just in case. Am I starting Evan Nielsen? I am if I keep this team. I won't if I do Palmer and Enzo Fernandez in. Why isn't Rodgers being deviated for captaincy much? I don't understand. Most people just want to captain penalty takers. And you could say, well, hang on, Watkins might not be on penalties. Fair enough. But his goal threat is much higher than Rodgers. Did you watch the Palace Spurs? The amount of misses between Mateta, Sarr, Munoz was uncanny. Eze didn't miss, though. Eze's a legend. Yeah, they are both in the European final. Yeah, it doesn't mean they're any good, though, right? Not really. I mean, I think both teams are probably better than kind of 16th, 17th. But I don't know if they're that much better. Surely the suit is coming out for the last week. Quite possibly, Matthew. 33 months. You've seen a few suits. Possibly, yeah. Possibly. Start Sarr or Minetzi. Probably Minetzi. Raya or Henderson. Raya. Any relevant info from pressers? Don't think so. Nothing massive. I mean, Ange basically said he's going to rotate. Amrim kind of made it sound like it might be a bit more full strength. Trossard, Havertz is back. Trossard, Havertz, and someone else. They need to wait and see if they can play. I think Sessegnon's a doubt. I saw. What's his name from Everton? O'Brien is available, fit and available for people that kept hold of him. Start Munoz or Saliba? Buying Vardy and Betto. Wow, nice. Good luck. Can anyone see like a more interesting move for me, by the way? Remember a few weeks back when not much difference between Sarr and Eze? Yeah, it happens. I love the Palmer shout. You're not overthinking it. Yeah, and look, if Saka is benched, then I can just get a Bournemouth midfielder instead. But it will be a bit more annoying. Yeah, I'm going to do it, I think. Nah, I'm not going to do Salah to Palmer. I really want to get rid of a Palace midfielder, I think. I've kind of talked myself into the fact that they are minutes risks in some ways this week. So I'll be hoping for a Crystal Palace win on Saturday. I mean, I'll be hoping for that if I own no Crystal Palace players, to be honest. Start 2, one has to be a Saliba, Konza, Saliba probably, Elanga, Rodgers, Sarr, Marmoush. Start 2. Wait, what? That makes no sense. Start 2, one has to be a defender. So you're only starting one of Elanga, Rodgers, Sarr, Marmoush. It doesn't make any sense. I would bench Sarr probably. You have Saliba versus Isak. Try to be more aggressive. You don't think buying Palmer, who's super low owned, is not aggressive, no? For a hit rather than just going Watkins. Like, what does aggressive mean? Is Isak to Watkins that aggressive when everybody else is doing it? It feels like the complete opposite of being aggressive. It feels like being passive. Isak to Watkins for a -4, worth it? Probably not, unless you really want him for captaincy. Saka at risk of being benched. Have I missed something? Well, if Arsenal beat Newcastle, they've basically got Champions League wrapped up. So he could get benched next week, potentially. You never know. I don't think he will, for what it's worth. Also worried if I get Enzo, rotated Chelsea on 38. Yeah, again, it's the same thing with Arsenal, right? Chelsea win, and other results go their way. I don't think... Hang on. Chelsea are on 63. Yeah, the thing is, I would expect City and Villa to both win. So I think Chelsea will have... Oh, hang on a second, though. Yeah, I think because Villa will probably win, Chelsea will probably have to go full strength in the final game. They won't necessarily need a win, but I think they'll have to go full strength to make sure they don't lose. So I think you'll be okay. But there is some risk there, yeah. I'm almost certainly going to sell Palmer in 38. I mean, it's worth saying, like, if a team hasn't got anything to play for game week 38, there is some risk to all players, pretty much. Like, even if it's minimal risk. Just 92 days until the 25-26 season. Is that it? Oh my days. At least 30 of them, there's no FPL at least over June. Probably more like 40. I wonder when they're going to launch FPL. Like last year, because of the Euros, they launched quite late. I prefer that, honestly. I take a later launch, but I think they'll be launching early. Like the 2 years before Euros, they launched on the 5th of July, my birthday. Both years. If FPL are listening, which they definitely won't be, please just launch it a bit later, like the 10th. Let me, and please let us know in advance so I can just go and celebrate my birthday instead of waiting around for FPL to launch. That's all I'm asking. Can you do Evan Nielsen to Watkins and Salah to Palmer? Probably, but there's no way I'm going to do that because Evan Nielsen's got Leicester at home next week. You want a 24-hour only launch? What, 24 hours before the first match? No, that's too little. In Game Week 38, I want to do Marmoush and Sarr to Evan Nielsen and Bowen Kluivert. Okay, if I do Isak to Watkins now, that will be... Will that transfer still be worth for a hit? Probably less so, to be honest with you, but I don't hate it. Start Munoz, Saliba, yeah. Bring in Sharda, making it Bumo, Visser, Sharda, or Palmer. I mean, Palmer's better than Sharda, but there's a big difference in money, so what's that stopping you doing? Isak and Eze to Palmer and Watkins -4. Don't hate it. Yeah, don't hate it. I mean, to be honest, I think Palmer... You say you're protecting. Palmer's not a protecting move. I think that's a kind of semi-going for it move. Isak to Watkins... I did that one. Alex, 31 months. My best chance of getting to Palmer is by selling Mateta to Visser and De Bruyne to Palmer captain for a hit. I probably prefer selling Isak in that scenario, but if you're not keen on it, go the other way. Like, it's a close call. I know people will disagree and they've got Watkins miles ahead of Palmer, but I think it's a bit closer than that. Is it worth using 2 moves this week to get Watkins, Konza out, or roll and get Saka, Kluivert, Evan Nielsen for free? I think I would roll. Yeah, look, you know what could happen, right? Watkins could score a hat-trick tonight, and then on Sunday you're saying to me, I wish I'd done that Konza move. Why did you tell me not to do it, right? That could happen. But I think for most people, there's more interesting things to do with transfers than use 2 just to get Watkins. So I'm going to say no. Which 3 of these would you start? Ruben Dias, Vardy, Munoz, Milenkovic, Livramento. Double City and Munoz, I think. You can make a case for Milenkovic, absolutely, but I'm probably going to play Munoz ahead of Nico Williams, I think. Although I have said most of the week I'm going to go Nico, but probably not. I hate the overthinking part. 24 hours is enough. To be honest, though, in some ways, maybe this isn't quite true, but in some ways, I find making a Game Week 1 squad easier than deciding what transfers to make this week and next. Because you've got like 4 or 5 game weeks to look at. So there's fewer options. It kind of narrows down your options a little bit because of the fixtures. Any plans for the walking, jogging channel? I don't know. I think I've got to make more interesting stuff, basically. I don't know if I've got it in me. I think there's part of me that thinks I should just move to Instagram for non-FPL stuff. Do shorter stuff. Probably be easier. I need a producer. That's what I need to do. I need to employ a producer to basically help me. Not for FPL. FPL I've kind of got sorted. -4 Eze to Asensio. I probably wouldn't -4 for that, but I think it's okay if you want to do it. Isak, Visser, Marmoush, 2 transfers by Watkins to protect min-league 19 points. Yeah, if you can do Marmoush to Watkins, that's great. Marmoush to Vardy or Visser and start them over Isak. I'd be tempted to roll in that case. Chasing min-league by 50 with the same midfield. Do Sarr, De Bruyne to Palmer, Saka for -4. But hang on. Palmer and Saka are more expensive than De Bruyne, so surely you just do Sarr to Palmer or Saka, right? Oh, chasing by 50 points. Oh, God, okay. Then, yeah, the thing is, you're then chasing by 54. You need to captain Palmer, I think, to have any chance of catching up. You're probably not going to catch up in reality, but good luck. I feel like I'm just breaking it. I'm not breaking the news to people gently that they're not going to win their mini leagues. Being a bit blunt. Maybe that's harsh. The last time Everton played Southampton, they lost 1-0. Yeah, that probably did happen. I accidentally voted for Mbermo. Oof, that's completely ruined the captain's poll now. You're going to have to live with that. Stephen, 85 months. Absolutely mental. Have to take a -4 to get Watkins in. You have to. Okay, Mateta and Rashford out to Watkins and Bowen. Yeah, I like that. No, I think Bowen's good. Like, if it was next week, I'd probably go Bournemouth midfielder. But for 2 weeks, definitely Bowen. I think that's a really good move, honestly. Anyone that's thinking about Mateta and Rashford for a -4 to Watkins and Bowen, just get it done and go and enjoy the sun if it's sunny where you are. No other recommendation under Saka price. No. Start Konza or Kivior. The thing is, right, so if it was Saliba or Konza, I'd say Saliba. But is Konza that much worse? I think he scored, right, recently, more so than Saliba. Villa clean sheet odds are slightly better. So I guess Konza. Fast to Munoz. I wouldn't buy Munoz now. I'd look elsewhere. 12 months, by the way. Thank you very much. Yeah, I don't think it's the right time to buy Palace players. Can I go out and enjoy my evening, or should I wait for possible leaks just to confirm Watkins starts, or is that too paranoid? Look, anything can happen in football, right? Maybe Unai Emery has cooked something up where he's going to smash Spurs without his main striker while Rashford's injured, but it does seem unlikely. I think if you go for Watkins and then go off and enjoy your evening and he doesn't start, you can consider yourself massively unlucky. Last for this year, Kujak or Roy Carroll. Roy Carroll. I don't even know who the other guy is. Am I really missing out there? I mean, Roy Carroll, I know that name for sure. Mateta to Vardy or Mateta to Vardy and Sarr to Palmer -4. Is it worth it? I've got Watkins. I'd be tempted to take the hit. Saliba versus double City. I'd probably go Saliba +1 City, like Vardy. Eze versus Evan Nilsson, who to play. I'd probably play Evan Nilsson just about. 1 free transfer, Watkins for Mateta or Watkins for Marmoush. Mateta. And hope for the best. Still Konza if playing Martinez. If you're, yeah, I mean, yes, it should be, but I get why you'd like. I don't think it's that. I don't think Konza is that clear of Kivior where you can't just play Kivior if you want to split the risk. I did Mateta and Rashford to Watkins and Palmer. Just a shame it took a -8. You took a -12 though. Triple captain, Watkins this game week or Salah next game week. Liverpool they are just on the beach. It's the final home game at Anfield. They're going to get the trophy. Salah's going to start. I'm going to say Salah next week, I think, just about. But there is value in just getting it played this week while you know Watkins is fit. Like, who knows? Maybe Salah picks up an injury. It never happens, but maybe he does. And then all of a sudden, you've got to go for someone else. 3 free transfers, 1.5 in the bank. Is Pep to Hertzler worth one of my transfers? Is keeping Raya better than Martinez Pickford? I wouldn't sell Raya. I mean, is Pep to Hertzler worth one of your transfers? Possibly. But I'd probably prefer to keep Pep and get 3 like punts next week or something. Yeah, I'd probably keep Pep. It's a little bit different Pep to like a player from City because obviously, you know, Pep will play, right? Because that's how the chip works. I don't really remember Kujat, to be honest. If I'm being completely honest, don't really remember. Bench Sarr or Marmoush. Have Watkins already. Sarr just about. Or Marmoush to Evan Nilsson for next week. Marmoush to Evan Nilsson next week's good. Bench one of Munoz, Konza, Marmoush. Konza just about. If you want to play it absolutely safe for minutes, then you bench Munoz, probably. But Konza, I would. Malay, 33 runs, thank you. Getting Watkins captain this week or roll, getting Evan Nilsson and Saka next week for 2 free transfers. Evan Nilsson and Saka captain is pretty strong next week. If you're happy with a different captain this week, I'd roll. If not, just get Watkins. And again, go and enjoy your Friday. Would you do Isak to Vardy and then Sarr to Palmer for a -4 or Isak for Watkins? I'm -1 in min league and he has triple captain F. I've got no chips. He's got a template team. Okay, so let's say triple captain's worth about 10. Maybe 15 if he gets lucky. So, honestly, I quite like the Isak to Vardy and then Sarr to Palmer -4. The thing is, right, when you say they've got a template team, that doesn't really matter. How template is it to your team? Because if you're only one behind and they're going to get Watkins and captain, you could just do the same thing. And if you've got like 2 or 3 players that are different, you just hope they make up the point. So if your team's got a few different players and you think they're going to get Watkins and captain, I'd probably match. If your team's exactly the same, then I'd do the -4 and get Palmer and captain him and hope for the best. Something like that. Wood or Isak to Watkins? Probably Chris Wood, just about. De Bruyne to Palmer -4, probably not. Just to follow up on the last message, but this prevents me getting Saka in 38. Could do Isak and Rashford to Watkins and Saka -4 and bench Pateta. That's quite a good move for a -4, I think. Honestly, still. I think you can justify pretty much any -4 with Rashford. And also, if you can bench Mateta, then you can just do Mateta to Evan Nielsen next week if you haven't got him. So that seems pretty good to me. Less than an hour to do a free hit. Should be. I think free hits are generally pretty straightforward. I mean, I haven't thought about free hit this week, but I'd say, like, I think I could pick a team pretty quick. Probably triple Villa. So I go Watkins, Rodgers, Palmer. Watkins, Rodgers, Palmer. 2 Everton defence at least, maybe 3. Bowen, Salah. That's already 7 without even thinking about it. I'd probably go Betto or Vardy. Job done. Nearly. You just did a wild card in 20. I mean, wild card's fairly straightforward at this point as well because there's only 2 weeks left, right? It'd be a bit more difficult if this was like game week 10. Mateta Isak to Watkins, Vardy for a -4. No, probably not. I would just do Isak to Watkins or Mateta to Watkins if you can. Salah Eze to Palmer, Captain Saka for a Salah Eze to Palmer, Captain Saka for -4. I think that's a don't hate it, but I don't think you really need to do it if you've already got Watkins. Marmoush Eze to Watkins Neto, okay, or Martinelli -4. I think I'd rather go Martinelli because of the Southampton game next week. Plan B is Isak to Watkins for free today. Yeah, to be honest, I think I'd go Marmoush Eze probably for a hit just about. Protects him mini league by 20 points. Rival will do Marmoush to Watkins. He's got Salah. I've got Eze instead. Oof. Should I do Haaland to Watkins and protect it, and captain to protect the lead? Yeah, 20 points is going to be hard to catch. I'd be tempted to protect, especially if they haven't got too many dissimilar players to you. I mean, Salah Eze could be a massive swing, but probably. Oh, no, I don't know. But you've got Haaland. I don't know. I'd be tempted to double down and hope Haaland does you a favour. 20 points. Yeah, I mean, captaincy is going to be the way that they claw that back. So, yeah, probably get Watkins and captain. But it doesn't feel great selling Haaland. Should I start De Bruyne, Schade, or Cunha? Probably De Bruyne out of those. Who should I captain? In Burmo, Rodgers, De Bruyne, Salah, or Vardy? Probably. I'd go in Burmo or Salah. Probably in Burmo. Yeah, probably in Burmo. Play Haaland this week. I mean, I don't see why you'd bench him, to be honest, if you own him. I'm not saying you should buy him, but my 3 defenders are Munoz, Ain't Nuri, and Vardy. Do I need a transfer to an Everton defender? No, I don't think so. Surely Isak to Watkins for no hit makes more sense than Palmer and Enzo for -4 and then do Eze or Sarr to Semenyo next week. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah. But then I don't have Saka next week. I kind of want Saka. But you're right. I could absolutely just spend no hits. Definitely. And just hope that Eze plays. But I kind of just want to go for the differential route. I really do, just to get Saka next week. Marmoush and Rodgers to Watkins and Neto for a hit. I probably wouldn't sell Rodgers for a hit. If you're freeing up to get Watkins, okay, I kind of get it, but I probably wouldn't do it. I can only win a head-to-head league, and my rival this week is famous for copying. I don't know what I'm going to do. Then don't buy Palmer. I'm probably going to go the Palmer route. I feel like this happens to me every week. I feel like I haven't given it enough thought, which is stupid because I've thought about it so much. Thoughts on Marmoush to the lap, or play safe and go Visser? I'd go Visser, I think. I risk for Crystal Palace, but need a forward who's good for both game weeks. Yeah, I would definitely get Visser over the lap. I wouldn't. Yeah, no real debate there, I think. Yeah, so on the Isak to Watkins option, and just play Eze this week and sell him next week. I could do that, and I could just captain Watkins this week, and then next week. It's so annoying. I'm 0.1 million off being able to do Isak to Watkins, Eze to Saka. I'm so annoyed at myself for letting that go. I could do that, but it just means I've got a captain Salah, but maybe that's okay. Yeah, maybe that is fine. I spend more time worrying about my FPL team than my actual job. I don't know if I do that, but it's a little bit different, I guess. Munoz to Mikalenko Kukurea for free or just roll? I'd probably roll. Keane, Everton start. O'Brien's back, so that might have an effect. I'm not quite sure how they'll line up. It could just be that Keane plays. It could be that O'Brien plays centre-back, Young plays right-back, or Young comes out of the team. I'm not really sure. Does Asensio cover for Watkins? I don't think he covers, but he's a good option in his own right, is what I would say. I need to take... let me just... Oh, yeah. Forget about that. The other thing I quite like about going the Palmer, it's massively differential, but also so is buying Enzo Fernandez. That's also like massively differential. And like I'm 44k, right? If I take a -4, I'm basically 50k. I'm exactly where I want to be, or where I wanted to be at the end of the season. I'm just pushing a little bit more. That kind of feels okay, no? So basically, next week, I really don't know. I really don't know what to do. Essentially, it's Enzo and Palmer captain this week, and then Saka and Isak next week, right, for a -4. So let me write this down, right? So it's Enzo, so it's game week 37, Enzo Palmer captain, and then game week 38 is Saka captain, Isak. Let me just see. Can I do a space? I don't think I can do a space. Okay. Oh, I can't do it. No. Hang on. Let me just write this down and bring it up on screen. All right. So it's more obvious what I'm doing. Or it's game week 37 as a Watkins. No, that's not right, is it? Or Evan Nielsen. It's Evan Nielsen. I don't know. This doesn't make sense. There's a lot of players at stake here. Yeah, it's something like this, but it's not quite this. And then game week 38 would be Watkins. No, it's not. That's not right. Yeah, it's too complicated, right? Basically, I bring in Enzo and Palmer captain. It means I have Saka captain and Isak next week. If I get Watkins, I lose Isak for next week, but I've got Semenyo and Watkins instead. Yeah, it's too complicated. I just think I'm going to prefer having Saka next week. If you're going to take a -4 to eventually get Saka anyway, why not Watkins? Yeah, yes, I could do that. I said this earlier on Twitter, right? It's completely illogical. It just feels better to take the hit this week rather than the final day. And also, by taking it this week, I can go massively differential on my captain. Next week, I can't. I think everyone will be on Saka. Okay, protecting 3 points lead in my mid league. At 3 points, I don't really... Yeah, you can kind of protect it, but not by a lot. Mateta to Watkins and Savinho to Sharda, or Marmoush to Betto, Mateta to Watkins and Savinho to Bowen -4. Marmoush, Mateta, and Savinho. Honestly, that -4 feels pretty good to me. They're all not amazing players this week. They're okay, but not amazing. This week only, Raya, Pickford, Areola, or someone I've never heard of. I generally don't know who that last person is. Should I know? I should probably know. Leicester's goalkeeper. Oh, because Thingy's injured at the moment, right? Do you know what? If you said to me life or death, who's going to play in goal for Leicester this week, I wouldn't have been able to tell you. This week only, Pickford. Easy. Salah, Rodgers, in Burma, Eze, Bowen, Vardy, Watkins, Marmoush. Who to bench? Marmoush out of those. Isak and Eze to Watkins and Saka -4. You kind of love that, yeah. Do you like Trossard Diaz next week as differentials? Yes, if we get notice they start. Yeah. Arsenal usually score for fun on the final day. Yeah, that's kind of why I want Saka. Like if he starts, he's going to be great. And also, there's a lot of good other midfielders I could just buy if Saka's not an option. Mateta, Murphy, Timber, bench 2, and free transfers De Bruyne to Saka. I don't hate that move, yeah, but you could always delay it till next week. I'd bench Timber out of those. Timber. The legendary combo of Ward and Everson. Honestly, one of the highlights of my life, that. That's 6 or 8 games. I think it was 8 game weeks. They got 6 clean sheets. Amazing. Amazing. Especially when everyone hated it. Because they conceded so... I mean, it was lucky, of course. Similar team to yours, bench boost this week or next. I've not really thought too much about bench boost because I've not got it, but presumably next week is slightly better. If you had Watkins in this week and in Burma, who would you captain? Watkins. Wood to Vardy for free? No, definitely wouldn't. There's no chance I would do that. Mateta to Watkins or Vardy? I'm 3 points off top 10k. That's Watkins easy. As a Villa fan, Asensio definitely on pens. He's too class to be dropped. He's been dropped many times though, right? He's not been dropped, just not been used all the time. Life or death, who plays in nets for Leicester? I actually don't know still. Some guy beginning with S. Isak to Watkins for free or Cunha to Watkins -4? Probably the free route. Isak to Vardy for free. I wouldn't do that, no. I mean, I love the Vardy punt this week. I don't love it that much. Any chance Salah gets benched? I think very little chance he gets benched. To get Watkins, I would need to sell a Villa player, Conjure, and take a -4. Is it worth it, or sell Marmoush for another striker? If so, who? Probably go to Vissa. I don't think I would take a -4 just to be able to get Watkins. Like, not to sell another Villa player that's probably okay this week. One free transfer. Should I bench boost now or roll? I mean, bench boost doesn't seem great. There is some risk with Mateta, Savinho as well, Sarr potentially too. Livermento's got a rubbish fixture. But I don't know if your bench is going to be better next week. You'd have to look into that a bit more, really. I think your team's okay this week, but your bench is basically going to be a few Palace players, Savinho, who might not start, Livermento against Arsenal away. I think the bench is better next week, but you'd have to go and have a look. You'd have to just go and have a look to see what it is next week. And if you can't make them, if you can just bench 3 of them and the transfer's not like the transfer doesn't seem massively useful to you, just one transfer might be better next week and just make your bench better. But you'd have to go and look at it. Who can I get instead of Konza if I plan on getting? Who can I get instead of Konza if I plan on getting Watkins? If I was buying a defender this week, like Kukurea, Vardio, Saliba, Wan-Bissaka, something like that. Marmoush and Savio to Watkins and Saka for a -4. Yeah, I kind of love that. I kind of absolutely love that, yeah. Sorry, let me just bring this up. Mateta. Oh, yeah, I did that one. Oh, bench 2. Sorry, I did miss that. Murphy and Timber, probably. Mateta to Watkins -4. 96 point. You've won, so sure, why not? 96 point lead. You are not losing that. Palmer Betto versus Watkins Enzo. I hate captaining forwards. Also hate Betto. I'll go Palmer then if you don't want to captain Watkins. I don't think there's anything wrong like this week with a Watkins captain. He's a very good option. What if you buy Watkins, hedging him by owning him and captaining in Burma? You don't need Palmer for a -4 or bet. But if I'm going to buy Watkins, I would just captain him because he's a better captain than in Burma, right? Also, at this point, buying Watkins and not captaining doesn't feel great because I'm pretty sure he's going to be over 100% effective ownership. Spurs 1 spot out of relegation with goal difference +4 is super bad and mad. It's been a bit of a weird season, yeah, for Man United and Spurs. But with Man United in particular, their underlying numbers, which I know no one wants to hear about, like expected goals conceded. I know it's not the only thing in the world, but it has not been good for 3 seasons now. There's no surprise where Man United are. Savinho to Asensio -4. Sarr bench chasing 15 points, 9 same players. Yeah, I don't mind getting rid of Savinho for a hit at this point. Mateta to Delap, Visser or Vardy. Visser, I think. 56 points clear on my min league. Congratulations, you've won. Person behind has Isak. Should I change Isak to Watkins or roll? I mean, Isak to Watkins is a perfectly good move, yeah, and you ain't going to lose that lead anyway. So if you want to captain him, go for it. If you're happy with someone else, leave the transfer until next week, take a punt, why not? Marmoush to Boring and Isak out for Watkins, Palmer, Vardy in. If that's for free, yes. If it's for a -4, probably. If it's for a -8, not so sure. If it's for free, that seems quite nice to me. -4 point lead. Sorry, 4 point lead. Do I -4 to take out Crystal Palace boys for others? Depends on your. If it's a big upgrade, maybe. If it's kind of a sideways move, I'd probably risk it and hope the Palace players start. Marmoush to Watkins with the -4 or Marmoush to Visser with a -0. I think I'd go Watkins -4 and captain him probably. Is Clivert or Semenyo better if buying this week? Probably Clivert for penalties. I know he got benched last week, but then Thingy got benched the week before, so I don't know if he's that much more certain. So if a player's effective ownership is 10%, you gain 90% of their points. Something like that, yeah. Basically, you want their effective ownership to be as low as possible if you own them. And if a player's over 100, you want them to blank if you own them. Well, you want them to blank whether you own them or not, really. But if you own them, yeah, it's a weird thing. I really try and forget about it, I would say. I have Marino, although it's kind of handy when you're looking for differentials. I have Marino. Would you keep for 38 or sell now for Asensio to play over Konza Bradley? That's a good question. I kind of like the idea of getting Asensio. I think just about. Feels so boring playing a defender. I think it's fine if you want to just play the defender for Marino. I think it's okay, but I'd probably move it on. If you were playing an attacker instead, then it'd be a bit different. But I guess you can't because Marino's missing out, so that kind of makes sense. Who's on Villa penalties? Presumably Asensio, but until we see the next one, we don't know for sure. Like maybe because he missed, it gets moved to Watkins. Seems like a lot of the chat, including myself, have money on the line in our mini leagues. Yeah, I mean it's that stage of the season, right? Already have Palmer captain, should bring in Captain Watkins or roll. Probably just roll. What I meant is you are hedging 100% of Watkins' EO by simply owning him, and you bet against the remaining EO by picking. But I don't get why I would do that. If I think Watkins is the best captain, I would just captain him, right? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what else to say. My point is, it's not 100% Asensio on penalties. I mean, I guess not because he missed a couple, but Unai Emery did say he was second on the list after Rashford, but I think that was before he missed. But I could be wrong about that. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Keep Haaland or sell Haaland to Watkins and Sarr to Saka for -4. It feels so wrong to sell Haaland when you've only just bought him. But I also kind of like that move. Double City, so probably. Double City defence or bench Ruben for 8 Nori. I'd probably go double City. Cash is so underrated for this game. I know, I wish I had 0.1 million more of it. I have Wood, Isak and Visser. Transfer who for Watkins? Probably Isak. Am I sticking with Mbeumo captain? I'm probably going to buy Watkins or Palmer and captain them instead. It's going to be interesting tonight, though, because, I mean, Watkins is playing first, and I don't really want Palmer to do anything. Not that freaking no, doesn't matter what happens tonight for Man United. I almost feel like it has zero bearing on next week. Just a heads up, our players are only just back from Dubai. Ibiza slot, they could barely walk up the stairs at training ground. Yeah, they're only training like, I think, tomorrow, Sunday, or today, Saturday and Sunday. That's it. I don't think anyone's buying Liverpool players, to be honest. I know someone mentioned Diaz earlier, but I think most people would just go Arsenal or Bournemouth punts. Start Ray or Areola, Ray, bench Isak or Kivior. If you had Saka this week, would he be in your squad? I mean, yes. Absolutely. If I have Haaland, why would I captain him? Because you might think he's going to score the most points. You might want to go for a big differential. Not sure. Haaland captain's viable, yes. I hate the fact he's playing after. Like, for what it's worth, if Haaland's fit, he starts. I don't really have any concerns about that. It's just whether or not he picks up a knock. But then I guess it's very unlikely he picks up a knock that gets him benched. So he's probably starting or not going to be in the squad at all. If I had triple Villa, what would be the plan? I'd probably start them all against Spurs. Is it bad to keep transfers for the final game week? Nope. De Bruyne to Palmer, but captain Watkins. Seems okay, yeah. Although I'd be tempted just to go straight to Saka for the final week if you're not captaining Palmer. Wood to Watkins / Visser. Or Sarr to a Villa mid. Sarr's probably more important to sell than Wood. Isak to Watkins for free. Okay, play Eze, Saka in free and 38, or Watkins and Bowen in for Isak and Eze -4, Saka in for free and 38, or Watkins and Enzo in for Evan. I wouldn't sell Eze. That -4 looks okay to me, but I'd probably just go the free move. Captain Watkins or Mbeumo Watkins. Eze Marmouche out for Saka Visser. Yeah, quite like that, yeah, especially if it's for free. Bench one, Visser, Wood or Rogers. Wood, probably just about. Sarr to Rogers for a hitting captain. No, don't think so. Already got Watkins, just captain him. Like, I don't think Rogers is a better captain than Watkins. But who knows? Excuse me, sorry. Hertzler or Potter? I'm going to say Potter just about. Should I start Marmouche with like a million question marks? Sure. I mean, it depends who else you can start, right? I'm surprised Enzo, I'm assuming, is better than Neto's, but neither is even close to Madueke. I don't think it's that surprising. Neto's not as good as everyone makes out, I don't think. Bench one, Munoz, O'Brien, Wan-Bissaka, Munoz. Captain Watkins or Haaland? Watkins, probably. Sorry. Watkins freeze at -4, yes or no? Probably no, unless you really want to captain him, which is fine. Bench boost 37, Livramento, Nico Williams, Saliba, Areola, or bench boost 38. Is your bench better in 38? If it's not, use it this week. Like, it's literally got 2 weeks now. You only need to figure out your bench for 2 weeks. Just use it in the better week. Should I bench Eze or Visser or Sharda? Eze. My boyfriend says, okay, I'm not going to read that out, but nice. Thoughts on Haaland captain? I think it's fine. Again, I think he'll either start and play 90 or just not be in the squad if he picks up a knock. That's probably the most likely thing that could happen. Excuse me. I think my move is Eze and Wood for Palmer and Vardy. Captain Palmer, ignore Watkins. Good luck. I still don't know which way I'm going to go. Maybe I should just go Watkins. Thanks for everything again. Tempted for one. Thank you very much, by the way. 21. Tempted for one last Vardy party. Yes, but I'm not going to do it. I don't think it's worth it for me. It would have been worth it if I'd rolled last week. If I'd rolled last week, I'm fairly sure I'd be doing Marmoush to Vardy and then Saka or Palmer in. Sarr to Bowen or Isak to Watkins. Or both -4. I kind of like both. That the way it's meant to be. Start Ray or Areola. Ray, I think. Holidays, not sure yet. But I'll definitely go on holiday. Got wildcard and bench boost left. Any tips for wildcard this game week? I honestly, I've not looked at wildcard at all. But I would probably have a couple of Everton defenders on it to bench next week. And then I would make sure I've got probably double or triple Bournemouth for next week. Probably triple Arsenal. So Saka, Saliba, Ray or something like that. Probably Palmer. Probably Salah if you can afford it. Although that's starting to get expensive, I think. Let me just... -4 for Salah to Palmer, back to Salah next week. No, I don't think I would do that. I like Palmer. I don't like him that much. Best ever finish in FPL. It's like 1,000 something. Someone asked me that. Is it 1294? Someone asked last week. I couldn't quite remember. Then someone told me. It's in the description. Mateta to Watkins done. Take a -4 to do Sarr to Saka. Otherwise need to play Sarr Murphy. Yeah, I'd probably take the -4. 33 points ahead. It's done. Start Milenkovic, Kilman or Saliba. Saliba, I think. If in doubt, default to the Arsenal defender. Triple Palace, change or stick? It depends how many transfers you got. I think I would be considering moving on if you can. Sorry, let me just... team news, I've not seen anything, but presumably all the players you want to start are going to start for Villa. Konza, Martinez, Watkins, etc. De Bruyne to Sharda and Cunha to Watkins. I don't mind that if it's for free. Second chance on Everton triple up in defence or play Ruben with Vardy. I quite like the Everton triple up. So glad the Haaland swerve worked last week. Me too. I don't know if the Watkins swerve is going to work so well this week though. I feel like Salah captain has gone so under the radar, he's chasing the record. Yeah, but he's been chasing the last few weeks, right? And he hasn't done that well. So it's not the only thing that matters. But I think he will play and play 90. Like, he's absolutely a good option. Start 2, Milenkovic, Vardy, 8 Nuri. Vardy and 8 Nuri, I think. Was going triple Villa, but triple Everton instead. Not sure about that. You're swerving Watkins. I really don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. Like I said earlier, if I had Bowen instead of Eze, I'm pretty sure I'd be doing Isak to Watkins. Like, so how much should I be concerned about Eze? That's the thing. Brentford's got nothing to play for. They've got 8th to play for. European place. How many transfers? I'm going to have a look now. How many transfers in is Watkins on? Because he was on 600k last time I checked. He's now on 700k. Palmer's on 147. I'm just going to take it on, I think. I'm just going to take it on. If it backfires, I'll be gutted. But I think I'm going to do it. Mateta or Isak to Watkins. Mateta. Konza and Isak to Howson and Watkins captain for a -4. I don't like the -4 removing a Villa player, but if you really want to captain him, then yes, it's absolutely fine. And Howson's good final day. As long as he plays, he's off to Real Madrid, but he should do. 18 points behind. Is it catchable in 2 game weeks? Yes. Who would be your differential captain? Probably Palmer. Captain in Burma, Palmer or Saka? Palmer. Marmoush to Watkins for a -4 and bench Rodgers? No. I don't see why you'd take a -4 to bench Rodgers. I get it, again, probably Watkins captain, but Rodgers is really good this week. Hey Ross, you have to go and you're in the wrong stream. You said no to Cunha. Is he injured? No, he's not injured. I don't want Palmer or Saka. Which 2 should I sell? I shouldn't really answer this, should I? Shouldn't really answer. He's at my... Sorry, let me just see here. Which 2 should I sell? Isak, Marmoush, Salah. Isak and Marmoush probably. Visser and Watkins, I guess. Start Isak or Eze. Isak. And captain in Burma or Watkins. Watkins. Salah in Burma. Bowen, De Bruyne, question mark. Murphy, question mark. Isak, Cunha, Marmoush. 2 million in the bank. 10 to buy. -4 for Watkins and Rodgers. But where are your first game blank course? Load of nonsense. Top 60k feels stuck. Should I roll use one? I mean, getting rid of Marmoush and another player for Rodgers. Well, I'd probably just do if you can do Marmoush to Watkins, I would just leave it at that. I think probably the best option though. Defending rank, other managers I expect will go for Watkins. I've no route. Captain Salah in Burma, Haaland or Rodgers. Haaland, and hope for the best. Captain Watkins, Saka, Watkins. Oh, chasing rank, number 1 has neither. Watkins. Although they're probably buying Watkins like everyone else. And I shouldn't answer a question that starts, hey Ross. Punch, thank you. Crazy deal from Bournemouth to Madrid. I know, like apparently they've been watching him since he was like 16. So they've been wanting to buy him for, I guess, a while. And I guess they want to get in now before he becomes even more popular with other clubs. Play Sarr or Konza in a 4-4-2. Sarr. You are playing Saliba and Isak against each other this week. Why not starting Nico Williams? I just think Saliba's better than Nico Williams, basically. I got Palmer last night because I didn't want to go through this today. I know. Do you know what it is, right? The thing that's really playing on my mind is everyone has Watkins now. I'm just going to have to avoid Twitter tonight. Also, I don't really want Palmer to do that. Well, I'm going to need like a 4-3 Man United win. Like, if I don't go Watkins and that costs me 50k, that is going to hurt a little bit, to be honest, because I've done so well the last couple of weeks to get up to this position. And am I overplaying the rotation potential for Palace players? Maybe I am. Maybe I am. I'm undecided on captain. I want to go Watkins, but hate going for the early game. Thinking possibly in Burma or so. Honestly, I would try and ignore when the games are. I get it, right? You're human, so you do think about it, but it shouldn't really matter. Pick 2 to start from Wood, Visser, Eze, Vardy. 2. Vardy and Visser. Marmoush and Konza to Kirkes and Watkins captain for -4. Again, I don't like selling a Villa player, but I get it. Sure, why not? Got Martinez and Rogerson. Yeah, I get it. And Kirkes is good for the final week. That's a fair point. And for captaincy, I think you can justify it. Worth Salah to Palmer for a -4 in 37, so I can set up to get Saka in 38. Down 1 in mini league and assume he'll triple captain Saka next week. Would you not want to go against Saka then? Because if he triple captains him and you captain, every point Saka gets is them going ahead of you. I'm not quite sure about that, if I'm honest. I don't think I would do Salah to Palmer -4 anyway. Bench Rodgers or Asensio. Probably Asensio, but I'd want to play both of them if you own them. Saka to Palmer -4. Back to Saka next week. No way I would do that. I like Palmer this week, but not that much. Like, if you really want to captain someone different, just captain Saka. I need to protect my rank. Should I do Mateta and Trippier to Watkins and House and Livramento for -4, or Isak to Watkins, or save transfer to afford Isak and Sarr to Evan Nilsson and Saka next week? I mean, all those players you mentioned are going to be popular. Watkins, Evan Nilsson and Saka. I'd probably do the Mateta and Trippier move, though, for Howson as well, if you can bench him this week. How are you going into this game week with Evan Nilsson and Isak away to City and Arsenal? Okay, lots of emojis. Nice. I'm very late to the stream. Any leaks? No. De Bruyne to Palmer and Mateta to Watkins for a hit or roll. I think I would do Mateta to Watkins. I wouldn't necessarily do De Bruyne to Palmer for a hit. But what do I do? Do I do Isak to Watkins or do I get Palmer for a hit? By the way, on the captaincy poll, 48% of Watkins, 11% Palmer. I'm scared now. I'm scared of going against Watkins. 44 in the world. Nice. Want to get the FPL mug. Good luck. All this pain and misery for a mug. Damn FPL, you got to get your prizes better. Martinez to Pickford to cover a mate in mini league. I wouldn't do that. I would just do Isak to Watkins for free and leave Martinez. Would you sell Vissa for Watkins for -4? Probably not. Nope. With Angie's comments, triple captain Watkins, I really don't mind it at all. It's probably that or like Saka Salah next week. Eze to Neto or Shada is a 1 week punt before moving to Saka. Neto. I think Neto is the punt. Shada's not going to be super high owned, but he is going to be higher owned, that's for sure. Mateta, Marmoush and Sarr, 20 minutes by the way. Mateta, Marmoush, I'm kind of telling myself that. Mateta, Marmoush and Sarr out for Saka, Watkins and Betto -4. Mateta, Marmoush and Sarr out. Okay, for Saka, Watkins and Betto -4. Love it. Sarr, Mateta for Saka and Evan Nilsson. No, love it. Love it, love it, love it. Would I start Pedro Porro? Probably not. I don't even know if he's going to start. If Watkins braces tonight, it's going to be a long weekend. I know, and honestly, I really think the Spurs team's going to be rubbish. I think Man United are going to go fairly full strength, and I think Spurs are going to mass rotate. It's really playing on my mind now. Like I think it's such a close call. A lot of it just really depends on whether Eze starts or not. If Eze starts, I think I go Isak to Watkins. Why Watkins or Rodgers? Watkins, bench Wood or Cunha. 2 free transfers. Savinho, Mateta to Palmer and Betto or Vissa. Yeah. Maybe I just need to ignore the Saka captain next week. Maybe I just need to ignore that. I could always go Salah captain next week. I think Salah's perfectly reasonable next week. De Bruyne and Marmoush to Palmer and Vardy -4. Gives me enough to get Saka for Sarr at 38. Yeah, don't hate it. Please, by the way, if you're buying Palmer, don't do it because I've considered it. I might not even buy him, and he has been rubbish. Like, do it knowing that it could backfire massively. Marmoush to Watkins feels right. Yes, wanted to dodge Villa, so this works well. Okay, if you wanted to dodge Villa, how does buying a Villa player help? I mean, that is a good move for what it's worth. Martin, 17 months, thank you. Savinho to Asensio and bench Sarr, Marmoush or roll. I'd be tempted to roll and just bench Savio. Is Wood a good punt for captaincy? He is differential, but I don't think I would go there this week. I don't think he's a good enough differential personally. Doom, 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 doom. Why not Betto instead of what? Instead of Watkins? Do you think De Bruyne will start against Bournemouth? I think there's a good chance, but that's all I can really say. Who would you sell for what? But there's risk there. Who would you sell for Watkins, Isak, or Cunha? Probably Cunha, to be honest. Even though I think he's probably better than Isak this week. Isak to Cunha for free. I wouldn't do that, no. Sub 1. Rodgers, Schade, De Bruyne, Burma, Isak. Oof. Isak, I think. Just about. Do what you want to do. Every British house has those pint glasses, I swear. They're handy, you know? Good amount of H2O. 568 millilitres, you know? Although they might not be 568s. Watkins on the wall tonight. No. Watkins on the Hall of Hate. Or the Wall of Hate when I don't buy him. Haaland and Sarr to Watkins and Palmer, Saka -4. Haaland and Sarr to Watkins. Selling Haaland from -4 doesn't feel great, but I guess, yeah, I don't mind it. It's okay. Isak to Watkins, done. Cool. Sarr, Woods, Evan Nielsen, Saka -4 in 38. Nice, good luck. Start Isak or Sarr, Isak. Spurs clean sheet coming. I really don't see that. I don't even know. If I don't buy Watkins, I'm not even sure if I want to buy. If I want to watch the game. In all honesty, it could be pretty horrible. And it's Man United are at 8:15, right? Watkins won't score. Watkins will probably score. And he could absolutely smash it. Barbecue in the garden or takeaway curry? Barbecue. If it's hot, come on. Do it for peace of mind. You have a solid rank this season. Protect it. I know, but the thing is, I have taken slightly differential options ever since Wildcard 30. Not every week and not like massively differential. But I have kind of done it where possible. So I'm tempted just to do it again. Isak Mateta to Vardy, Watkins -4. Can you not just do... You can just do Isak to Watkins, right? Yeah, I'd probably just do Isak to Watkins, I think. Sell Eze and Sarr for Schade and Langer. Probably not. I'd save those transfers to figure out your bench boost next week instead. Could really do with knowing if Bruno starts. Probably not going to find that out, to be honest with you. Doodle-doo-doo-doo. 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 Watkins is such a weak ruiner. Don't bet against him. Was anyone talking about Watkins last week? Is anyone that's actually buying Watkins? Were you considering him before this week? Feels like it's like just, I don't know, massively come out of the blue. Start Munoz, Milenkovic, or Bradley. Munoz, and hope he starts. To be fair, all the stars have aligned for Watkins to be an amazing option, so it doesn't really matter whether you consider him last week or not. Bench one of Wood, Eze, Mateta to bench one of Wood, Eze, Mateta to Visser or Vardy. Visser, I'd bench Mateta probably. Is Isak in a coma or something? Why are you so down on him? I'm literally playing him. Sarr or Murphy to Rodgers or Asensio -4. I'd probably sell Sarr first and probably to Rodgers. Haaland was the same move as Palmer, out of form players. Yeah, but I mean, come on, like What Watkins scored last week, so now he's in form. Like that, Watkins. I mean, to be fair, Watkins has got 3 goals in his last 5 games, and he was benched in 2, but it's and an assist. To be fair, and an assist. He has done pretty well. He's got 16 goals this season. I don't think Watkins will get subbed early. I think he'll play 90. I think that's quite likely. Trossard might be back. We don't know for sure. Mateta Savinio to Watkins Bowen -4. Yes. Oh, or Mateta to Watkins and start Sarr. I'd be tempted to take the -4. I just don't think Savinio is going to be great for you the next 2 weeks. Would you keep Mateta this week? There aren't really any other forwards to go for. I cannot afford Watkins. I'd be tempted to, yeah. Again, like you could go to Visser, but that transfer might be more useful next week. Bench Enzo or Isak. Probably Enzo. Start Wood. Sell Wood or Betto for Watkins. Sell Wood or Betto for Watkins. Oh, Betto, I guess. I mean, Beto's better this week, but I think Wood's better for the final 2. Bench Eze or Elanga. Eze. Eze. Start Wan-Bissaka or Munoz. Munoz never seems to be benched. Yeah, you could definitely take a risk on Munoz if you want. He does hardly ever seem to be benched, you're right. I don't think Watkins is essential, but he is a great option. And Ciso punt, I guess it's okay-ish. I probably wouldn't spend my transfer on that, though. What are some funny mini-league names? I don't really know. You'd have to go, just Google search it. Ask one of the hundreds of AIs. Savinio to Asensio -4 or play Sarr. I think because it's Savinio, I'd be tempted to take the -4. If it was someone else, maybe not so much. And he's 100% making a transfer. Yeah, I've pretty much said that the whole stream. That I'm going to buy Palmer or Watkins. I mean, I have got on the screen that maybe roll, but that's not going to happen. Is Watkins on penalties? It's probably Asensio, but maybe it's Watkins. Asensio has missed a couple. You never know. Do, do, do. Uh, 10 minutes to go. I need to make my moves. Do I sell Munoz? Or do I sell Sarr and go Enzo Fernandez? Would you bring in Marmouche for Mateta? No. Team News FPL, I'm pretty sure, is not a reliable account. I mean, saying that Watkins starts is probably quite a good way to get followers, right? Because he's definitely going to start. Winning FPL or Man United winning the treble? I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Man United win the treble again. Been a while. If you had Haaland, would you captain him or Watkins? Honestly, I think Watkins might be better at this point. Where Canate and Mateta to Watkins and Mikalenko -4 or just buy Visser? Probably just buy Visser. Any team news? I'm not seeing any so far. If someone could let me know if Cole Palmer's starting, that'd be good. I don't know if we will get any team news, to be honest. Captain Watkins or Vardy, second in mini league, 24 points behind. I mean, probably Watkins, right? But it depends if the leader is gonna get Watkins as well. Bowen versus Enzo, who's better? Bowen by a mile. Can you do a 24-hour deadline stream next week? No. No. Marmouche, ease that to Vardy, Watkins -4, funds for Saka. Yes, don't mind that. Yeah. Palmer's been rubbish. I'm not really denying it, to be honest. Captain Saka, De Bruyne, or Watkins. Watkins. Do I just trust Eze? Oh, and then I don't get Saka next week, and I just captain Salah. It's too difficult. I don't want to think about it. Ben Krelling's rolling. Ben Krellin is rolling and playing Eze and no Watkins. What a legend. Start 3, bench 2. Munoz, Murphy, Saliba, Sarr, Marmoush, Palace stress me. I'd probably play Marmoush, Sarr, and Murphy. Bench the 2 defenders. Areola or Raya, Evan Nilsson or Sarr, Evan Nilsson. I'd be so terrible at FPL if I had to agonise over decisions pre-deadline with thousands of viewers while having to answer their questions. I mean, again, that's a very nice, privileged position to be in, to be honest. And most weeks I kind of know what I'm doing. This week's difficult. Ben's got basically the same team as me. Not quite the same. Defense is a bit different, but the rest of his team is very similar to mine, and he's rolling. That's interesting. Hang on. I could just do ease out to Watkins, but I have enough money for Eze to Palmer. Yeah, see, that's what I want to do. Eze to Palmer. I just can't afford it in one move because I got Vissa last week. If Vissa blanks again, honestly, it's absolutely killed me. Oh, hang on. In Ben's article, he said he was getting Palmer and captaining him. It's kind of what I want to do. I really want to do it. If I could, honestly, if I hadn't gone Vissa last week and I'd gone like Raul Jimenez or Vardy, I'd absolutely be doing Eze to Palmer, I think, for free. Marmoush to Watkins, or do Marmoush to Evan Nilsson and Sarr to Saka next week. I'd probably just get Watkins. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm more. Do you know what? The problem is we've got less than 5 minutes. I'm probably going to buy Palmer for Eze, right? How do I fund it? Do I do Sarr to Enzo Fernandez and bench Evan Nilsson? Or do I do Munoz to an Everton defender, Mikalenko? Eze to Palmer or ease out to Watkins as well for -4. I'd probably just do one. Has everyone written off Cunha? I just don't think anyone's buying Cunha, that's all. I wouldn't stress about it too much. If you've got him, you can play him. Like, there's no issues with that at all. Doodaloo. What's Eze captain by? There is no chance I'm captaining Eze this week. Tonali or Enzo? I mean, this week Enzo probably. I'm going to go for Palmer and captain him. I think I'm going to stick with a differential route and just hope that Watkins doesn't absolutely destroy me. If he does, he does. It will be annoying, but I'm going to stick with the Palmer plan and just wish I'd never got Vissa. Would have made it a lot easier. Watkins 700,000 transfers in. Eze 232k is madness, by the way. That is just absolute points chasing. I don't know how to fund it. I think I'm going to go Sarr to Enzo Fernandez and hope that Munoz plays. But really, I should do Munoz to Mikalenko and just go all in on the Palace minutes issues. Because Nico Williams on the bench is not great. Secure your top 50k status. What if I can push for top 30k, top 35k? I'd love to beat my ranks from the last 2 years. I thought there was no chance a few weeks ago. Wouldn't the Watkins captain sort of guarantee the top 50k? Yeah, but like, I'd love to finish top 50k. If I finish 60k or 70k, is it the end of the world? I don't think my whatever rank I get this season is really going to help me in terms of YouTube next year anyway. Yeah, I wouldn't put any more super chats in now. It's 2 minutes to go. I need to make my transfers. I wish there was a way to set it so it could just turn off at a certain time. That'd be super handy. I obviously appreciate them a lot, but I also hate missing them. Better differential captain Bowen Haaland by a mile. Eze to Palmer or Isak to Watkins. I did that one. I have Betto and Haaland, captain Betto. I'd captain Haaland, Munoz or Kivior start one. Kivior's the safety, but I'd probably go Munoz. My entire 11 has a home fixture. Nice. I've got Evan Nielsen again. Oh, no, I'm going to bench Evan Nielsen if I get Enzo Fernandez. Is there going to be a watch long next week? I don't think so. I'm going to go Palmer. I just don't know how to fund it. I mean, do I really need to get Enzo Fernandez to bench Evan Nielsen? Probably not. I could just go for Munoz to an Everton defender instead. Minute and a half to go. Honestly, Team News FPL, I've got blocked because they've put out loads of rubbish team news in the past. They're not an account worth following. Yes, don't get me wrong. They'll be correct about Watkins starting. I can also tell you, exclusive news, Emi Martinez is also starting. Massive. Minute left. I'm going to go Enzo. I'm going to go double differential. I think. This is going to backfire massively. Done. Right. Backing against Man United. How fun is that? Double differential. They're going to be both super low owned. Why not just push? We'll go for the push and see what happens. Could massively backfire. A 0-0 inbound, possibly. Watkins is probably going to smash it. Let's see what happens. We'll see. I don't feel great about it. I'm going to be honest. I took a hit, yeah. I don't think it's a stupid decision. I don't think you can say it's stupid to get Palmer. Like on it, I don't. I'm in this weird situation now where I obviously don't want Man United to lose, but I really want Palmer just to shut people up. Like this is a guy that's done so well over the last couple of seasons. Like it's madness the way people talk about him, as if he's this like amateur that can't play football. Think an Everton defender would have been better. You might be right there. You might be right. Everton defender instead of Munoz was probably the play. But let's see. Why don't you pick number 9 Neto? Because he's not 4.7 million. If Madueke or Neto was as cheap as Enzo, then yeah, I absolutely would not have bought Enzo. Imagine if Palmer's bench now. That would be an absolute killer. My missus asking me to put headphones on. She usually likes listening, must not like the Palmer shout. No one likes the Palmer shout. I promise you, if Palmer gets a double digit tonight, I will start him next season, just like I did this season. I mean, I'll start him next season if the fixtures are good and his price is all right. Sorry. Sorry. There we go. At least she usually listens. My missus is strict on the FPL headphones. Does she get you to wear 1 or 2 AirPods? Palmer is the joint third highest point scorer this season. Yeah, but he's never going to score again because he hasn't scored the last few weeks. What a rubbish. Yeah, it's going to be rubbish watching tonight. I'm not looking for. I honestly don't think I can watch the Villa game. I think I'm going to just skip it and just go straight to Man United at 8:15. You made me learn the English word penultimate, yet you did not use it. I think I used it at the start of the stream. Oh, Watkins will definitely be over 100% effective ownership. Evan Nielsen, by the way, is probably also just pretty good to play this week. I could have just benched Enzo, I guess, but you just brought him in, so it felt like time to get him. I want Palmer to do well because I want to do well in FPL, but I still want Chelsea to lose, obviously. It's like a 4-3 Palmer hat-trick. Man United score 4. That would be ideal. Enzo assists Palmer 3 times, but still on the losing team. Perfect. Anyone for the wall this season? I think Jose Sarr's on. He should get on. And possibly, no, probably not Eze. Right, I need to do. Oh, hang on. Easily. Sorry, I'm distracted now. I need to do the sleeper draw for game week 36. There was 5 people. I only got 7. 5 people with 7. Everyone else got less than 7 last week. Not very good. Let me go studio mode. Random name generator. Boom. Okay, this is for the £50 Amazon voucher for those of you that played in Game Week 36. If you want to join for Game Week 37, Sleeper, join the Let's Talk FPL League, link in the description below. Man of the people, I'll be messaging you after this stream to get your email address. I know I owe a couple of other people an email. That's going to be coming sometime this week. There we go. That's the Sleeper draw done. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like. Hit that subscribe button as well. And I'll be back on Sunday for the Knee Jerk stream. But you'll see me on Twitter tonight where I'm talking about how badly I've done in FPL and how much Watkins has destroyed my 50k rank. Say goodbye to the 50k, I guess. Anyway, enjoy your weekend. And I'll catch you again soon. Good luck to Crystal Palace tomorrow as well, by the way. I think the whole country, not even the whole country, the whole of football will be supporting you, apart from probably Man City fans and maybe Brighton as well. Right, I'm off. See you later.